This Civic Media podcast is sponsored by UW Organ and Tissue Donation. Organ donations are desperately needed, and now is the right time to become an organ donor. Talk to your family. Get the dot. Save lives. Go to heroicdeed.com.
Good morning. It is Monday, December the 2nd of 2024. Currently 21 degrees under mostly cloudy skies in downtown Wausau. I am Chad Holmes. It is hour number 2 of the Chad Holmes Show on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. You can join us if there's something on your mind, if you want to give your thoughts on what we talked about in the first hour, if you want to give your thoughts on what we're going to talk about in hour number 2. If there's something we're not talking about, you want to let your voice be heard, we would love for you to be part of the program. And you can join us by giving us a call or a text at 715-382-9297. 715-382-9297. You can call us or text us at that number, 715-382-9297. And again, you can also join us by using your Civic Media app. Just download the Civic Media app. It is free. It will always be free. Just go to your app store and search Civic Media. Download the app, then you have all 21 of the Civic Media stations at your fingertips to be able to join us. So again, if there's something on your mind, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, would love to hear from you. Don't be shy. 715-382-9297. Coming up at 9:34 this morning, we'll be joined by Tana De Lonay. She is the Community Engagement Coordinator for the Ethiopian Community Development Council and Multicultural Community Center in Wausau. And we're going to talk about those organizations, give a little bit of background on what the mission is, how she and her group assist new refugees to our community, talk about any misconceptions there may be as well, and also give information to folks who may be interested in helping as well. So again, Tana De Lonay from the Community Engagement, the Community Engagement Coordinator, Ethiopian Community Development Council, and Multicultural Community Center will be joining us at 9:34 this morning here on the program. Then after that, at 9:51, we'll have our daily history lesson. We will talk about some of the famous events that occurred on this date in history, talk about some celebrity birthdays being celebrated today, talk about some of the events that are being acknowledged both today and throughout the week, and we will have our number for the day quiz as well. And we will give Ian Welsh an opportunity to take that quiz, and if you've not been with us before, we always wrap up the show by having the number for the day quiz. And when we have a number for the day, it could be easy. Just give the number. But we want to have a little fun with it. So what we do is we give it a bit of a challenge. We give Ian 3 choices based on what our number for the day is. And then if he gets it right, which he should 1 out of 3, if he's better than 33%, basically, because if you guess, when you have 3 choices, you guess, you should get it right at least one time. But if he gets above 33%, then it's a passing grade. If he gets below 33%, it's a failing grade. But we want a winning week, and that means getting more right than wrong, and that's not easy. So he'd have to get 60%, 3 out of 5 right to have a winning week. His all-time best week was 80% when he got 4 out of 5 correct.
Yes.
And we are still waiting for that golden week, that perfect week, 5 out of 5, 100% correct. Have not done that yet. That is hard. Because, I mean, basically, these are, 1 out of 3. You have to try to figure it out a little bit, but also it can be very difficult because often the numbers really don't have
it can be. It's
much
a challenge
difference. Yeah. But at this point, we try to give Ian a little bit of an idea what the direction is for our number for the day.
Yep.
And give him a topic. Would you be interested in knowing what the topic is for our number for the day today?
Yes, I would. Yes.
All right. Our number for the day is male registered nurses in the United States.
Male registered nurses.
You think of nurses normally as women, right? Normally nurses are women, but there are a number of male registered nurses in the United States of America. So that is our topic for today. So that our number of the day will involve male registered nurses in the United States. So something to look forward to, something you can stew on here for the next, 45 minutes or so, and then be ready to go. So we'll look forward to that.
That's right.
Also want to let people know that tonight we have high school girls basketball as we continue to cover a lot of high school sports. In fact, Saturday was a very, very busy day. I was bushed by the end of Saturday night because
I can imagine.
Started off by traveling to Eau Claire after Friday night, had Wausau West hockey against Eau Claire Memorial, then drove home, got up early Saturday morning, drove back to Eau Claire, saw Wausau West beat Superior in the second round of the meltdown at Eau Claire Memorial, and then I drove back to Wausau, went to the Wausau West Fieldhouse, had Newman Catholic boys basketball on Saturday night starting at 6 o'clock. Cardinals fell in that game to Northern Pines, and then after that had the second game from the West Fieldhouse to the championship round of the Turkey Shoot as the Wausau West Warriors defeated Madison East. So it was 3 games alone on Saturday, and then a trip Friday night to Eau Claire. So by the time we got done with Saturday night, I was talked out. I was not going to talk at all yesterday, and I did not talk at all yesterday. I did not talk at all. I just stayed home,
rest, absolutely.
And I was just watching television during the course of the day. And what I did yesterday afternoon, there was no Packer game going on. I was watching a little football, but then I was flipping around, and I came across one of the funniest movies that I've ever seen. And I thought, I'm going to sit here and watch this.
Oh, yeah?
It was the Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy.
Great movie.
I know it. It was so much. It was such a funny movie, but also had heart as well because Sherman Klump was a very lovable character.
Absolutely. Those are the movies I like to watch. Is movies that are funny but also have heart.
I think one of the best parts of the movie was actually 2 because the first time is when he asked Miss Purdy to go out on a date, and they went to the comedy club, and the character played by Dave Chappelle was basically the kind of guy that would point at different people in the audience and sort of take their flaws and make fun of them. And Sherman Klump tried to get out, but he, being a big guy, he knocked over the chair and over the table, and then the comedian went after him. Bad. Ouch. And you could see his heart breaking. It was such a, it was heartbreaking to see. You could see how sad he was, and then he took Miss Purdy home, and you could see he was so sad. He felt so embarrassed. And then after that, he became Buddy Love. He had the scientific formula to lose weight, and he turned into Buddy Love. But there were side effects. Buddy Love was Sherman Klump, but basically thinner. Except there were emotional aspects that changed him, and he became more of a I'd call it a mean edge to him. But he went out as Buddy Love with Miss Purdy, and he went back and saw that comedy, the Chappelle character, the comedian, and he turned the tables on him, and it was just so funny. I mean, and it was just, the Clump family involved. I mean, just a classic. And I just happened to come across it. It was on BET. I was flipping around, and hey, the Nutty Professor, and I had a couple of hours just to enjoy that. So
that movie came out in the 1990s, right?
1996, in fact.
Oh,
because
the 1990s were a great era for movies. Maybe I'm being prejudiced because I was born in the 90s, but personally, I think that 90s movies are the peak of movies.
I wouldn't go that far, but I think that there were a lot of good ones as well. So, absolutely. So that was a fun way to spend my Sunday. Oh, real fast. I was mentioning, I got off on this tangent.
Oh, yeah?
Tonight, we do have high school girls basketball. I did not mention who's playing. It'll be the Marathon Red Raiders in action. Marathon 1-1 on the young season. They will take on the Edgar Wildcats at Marathon High School. I will be at Marathon for the play-by-play of that one. We will start with the pregame show at 7 o'clock, have the opening tip at 7:15, live right here on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Then tomorrow night, we have not one but two games. I will be heading to Marshfield, the Wausau West hockey team back in action against the Marshfield Tigers. It is the Wisconsin Valley Conference opener. Coverage begins at 6:50 for the pregame, 7 o'clock for the opening faceoff. And Tom Weaver will be at Marathon High School tomorrow night as the Marathon boys basketball team has their first game of the season taking on Eau Claire Regis. That game can be heard live on the Sports 2 stream at WXCO.FM and on the Civic Media app. If you go to WXCO.FM, you'll see in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, you'll see Primary Stream, Sports 1, and Sports 2. And tomorrow night, Tom will have the call live on the Sports 2 stream.
Yes.
Okay, the Sports 2 and Sports 3. Primary, Sports 2, and Sports 3. I'll be on the primary stream with Wausau West Hockey. Tom will be on Sports 2 stream with Marathon Boys Basketball. And you can also listen on the stream on the Civic Media app as well. And that game will also air on a tape delay basis tomorrow evening on 98.9 WXCO. And then finally, I want to remind folks that on Wednesday, we have the Big High School Sports Show presented by K5 Construction. Coming up on Wednesday night, we will be joined by a couple of guests as well. My co-host, Jeff Gress, the former Newman coach, will talk about what's happening in high school girls and boys basketball and high school hockey. Our coach guest for this week will be Dan Garrett, the head boys basketball coach of the Wausau East Lumberjacks. They earned a couple of season opening wins over in Eau Claire this weekend, defeating Superior and Eau Claire North. And then our student athlete guest will be Bennett Matson from the Wausau West Warriors. He was the MVP of the turkey shoot. They had awards at the end of the turkey shoot. He was the MVP, helping Wausau West to 2 wins and the tournament title. So that will be coming up on Wednesday, the Big High School Sports Show. They keep me busy during the winter. And of course, we still have the show here. And Ian busy getting ready for True Magic as well. We'll talk more about that coming up as well. The time is 9:18. Again, 21 degrees here in downtown Wausau. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
I was so hard to please. Look around, leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. Hear the Salvation Army band down by the riverside is back.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
On Monday night, the Marathon High School girls basketball team plays host to Edgar in a Merowith Conference South Division showdown. Hear all the exciting action live on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Coverage begins with the pregame show at 7 and the opening tip set for 7:15. Marathon girls basketball on 98.9 WXCO is brought to you by Marathon Park City, Four Seasons Screen Printing, Brickner's of Little Chicago, County Materials, the People's State Bank, Marathon Cheese, the Dirks Group, Marathon Family Dentistry, and the Marathon Athletic Club. It's Marathon taking on Edgar in high school girls basketball. Monday, starting with the pregame show at 7, opening tip at 7:15. Live on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Chat Home Show 98.9 WXCO, WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Again, Tana De Lonay will be joining us in just a few minutes. Community Engagement Coordinator, Ethiopian Community Development Council, and Multicultural Community Center. Again, talking about their mission in assisting new refugees to our community. And again, being able to just be someone that is a positive force. And we'll talk to her coming up in a few minutes. Also, being a positive force is being a giver. And we have Giving Tuesday. And Civic Media is proud to support Giving Tuesday. Help a neighbor. Sign up to volunteer at a local organization. Make a donation to a local nonprofit today. And we have put out some links to different organizations throughout the state of Wisconsin at civicmedia.us. Go to civicmedia.us, and then you'll see a link right on the front page that says for more information. And what you have to do is just click on that, or just go to civicmedia.us/giving. That will take you there directly. But either way, go to civicmedia.us, click on the link, or just go to civicmedia.us/giving, and you'll see all the stations of the Civic Media Radio Network and different organizations that we are promoting for Giving Tuesday. And the stations are listed alphabetically. So that means WXCO is down at the bottom. So you have to go all the way down to the bottom. But you'll see some information about 3 different area organizations that you should consider in terms of giving on Giving Tuesday. One is the Neighbor's Place, again, providing food, basic necessities, education, service connections to the community, and a whole bunch more. There's the Boys and Girls Club of the Wausau area. They aim to enrich and transform the lives of young people through education and mentoring. And then there's the Good News Project as well. Fulfills environmental needs locally and abroad through recycling, international service trips, community building. Of course, we get a chance every week, I should say every month, that Christine Daniels on the first Wednesday of every month. She is the executive director of the Good News Project. She has come in and told us about so much of the great work that they're doing. She'll be with us coming up on Wednesday this week. So again, if you're looking for some ideas, and not just the state, those organizations that are listed under WXCO, you can check out many other great organizations that are listed through the ideas of other folks at other stations on the Civic Media Radio Network. So really, it's really a great idea to see maybe an organization that close to your heart, somebody that you want to help out in some way. But go to civicmedia.us/giving. civicmedia.us/giving, and then be able to help out and do something good. And again, sometimes when we talk, I mean, that last hour, spent the last part of the hour talking about this issue of the pardons. Talking about, again, I think the politicalization of everything, feeding the fire.
Yeah.
We don't want to feed the fire all the time. We want to actually do things that aid humanity, aid our neighbor, aid ourselves, make ourselves feel better.
Especially in the holiday season.
Yes.
It's time to think of others.
Exactly. And that's why coming up we're going to talk about the lives of our refugees that come here. Yeah. There's so much negativity when it comes to immigrants now. And the idea that they're all bad people. That is so false. And that is a falsity that needs to be pushed back on each and every day. Think about the humanity of our neighbors. Think of the humanity of people that aren't like ourselves, who look differently, are from different areas, different states, different countries.
Think about walking a mile in their shoes.
Exactly.
I mean how would you feel if your country was at war and you couldn't see that because you had to protect your family and you had to leave your own country just to be safe? That is exactly what they're going through. You can't just assume that everybody is the same. No, we all have different problems and different issues, but that doesn't mean that we can't try to understand and even try to help them.
Yes, and they're
people just like us. It doesn't matter that they're a skin color or speak a different language. We are all humans.
And this time of year especially, everybody talks the talk. It's time to walk the walk. when it comes to doing things for our brother, our sister, our neighbor. Again, you talk about no matter what your religion is or even lack thereof. And that's one thing that frustrates me as well. And I know that we talk a lot about the holiday season, and so many of them are through religion. But the people the atheists or the non-religious folks, they live their lives because people should live their lives because of doing good things because it's the right thing to do, not because a religion tells you it's the right thing to do. So again, that's a whole different discussion, but at the same time,
very important one.
But again, I mean, I'm so glad that civicmedia.us/giving has these organizations that you can help that are doing things to aid humanity, to do the right things. Coming up, we will have an information update, find out what's going on around the country, around the world. We do that at the top and bottom of every hour. So again, all the information you need coming up. And then we are going to talk about doing the good, talk about helping our fellow human beings, talking about the folks that are looking for better lives and are fleeing death and destruction, are refugees. And we're going to talk to the Community Engagement Coordinator for the Ethiopian Community Development Council and Multicultural Community Center in Wausau, Tana De Lonay. She's coming up after our information update. With Ian Welsh, I'm Chad Holmes. You're on WXCO.
You're an organ donor, right? Well, here's a tragic fact. Approximately 20 people die each day waiting for precious donated organs. You could make a life-saving decision simply by getting that important dot on your driver's license. That little dot shows those who need to know that you've made a decision to donate organs at a critical time. Go to heroicdeed.com to learn more about the importance of organ donation and how you can make your wishes known. Talk to your family. Get the dot. Save lives. heroicdeed.com.
The fight to make ends meet keeps a man up on his feet, holding down his job.
And welcome back, Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. The time is 9:35 this Monday morning, the first day of work in December. Yep, it is December the 2nd. Feels weird because Thanksgiving was so late. Often you'll have a full week between Thanksgiving and the start of December, but we're right into it. And here on this Tuesday, glad you could be with us. And very happy to welcome into studio Tana De Lonay.
You got it.
Bang! She is a community engagement coordinator, Ethiopian Community Development Council, and Multicultural Community Center here in Wausau. Tana, thank you for coming in.
Yes, oh my gosh, thanks for having me. I'm so very, very excited to be here. So
absolutely. I guess there's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about.
You said it, but when I came in here, I was asking you about the title. I said It's a mouthful. Tell us what the organization is.
Yeah, so Ethiopian Community Development Council. So we shorten it to ECDC. That's a little bit easier, right?
Very
Otherwise,
nice.
it's a mouthful. And then the Multicultural Community Center. So it's all one organization. We are a refugee resettlement agency here in Wausau. Mm-hmm. So we opened our doors 3 years ago in November 2021 with the fall of Kabul. So we welcomed in a lot of Afghanistan families that came in at the time. The organization itself, so our branch, WASA is a branch of a national, federally authorized refugee resettlement agency. And we opened 3 years ago, but the organization itself is headquartered in Arlington, Virginia, and it's over 40 years old. So it actually opened up in 1983. And the president and CEO, his name is Dr. T. He's very, very proud of this fact. He is an Ethiopian immigrant. And he founded the organization really with that idea of resettling Ethiopian individuals. And so for a time they did when they first got started, and they kind of stuck to that sort of like Washington, D.C. area, kind of that further eastern part of the country. And then it grew. So like it started with Ethiopia, then they branched out to other countries in Africa. And then now we just, 40 plus years later, we're welcoming everybody. So we're really happy to be here, excited to be here. And like I mentioned, our branch opened with a lot of Afghan families, but we also resettle Congolese people. So Democratic Republic of Congo and then Republic of Congo, both countries, there's still ongoing warfare and conflicts there. And then the Rohingyan people, we also receive a lot of those referrals. And a lot of people don't know Rohingyan. They haven't heard of Rohingyan.
Right.
I'm curious, have you heard of Rohingyan?
I have not.
Okay, so this is my bread and butter. This is the education piece of my role. But Rohingyan, so they are the stateless people from Burma / Myanmar. People know the country by different names. But it's a very, very sad situation. They are not recognized as their own country. They have a very strong culture, but the government of Myanmar, Burma, just did not recognize them. And so very, very, very tragic. They did ethnic cleansing and they said, you need to get out. So actually the largest refugee camp in the entire world is in Bangladesh. And it's filled with primarily Rohingyan individuals, like literally over 1 million Rohingyan individuals. So we support those people that are refugee status. So that is what we do.
You mentioned the last 3 years for this organization here in Wausau.
Correct.
Obviously, it's been a busy 3 years when you talk about the Afghani situation and now this continuing humanity.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was something we were talking about earlier, and you just talked about, when you hear the term ethnic cleansing and the such, I mean, I don't think people truly understand it. The folks that have come in, bottom line, they've added to our community, haven't they?
I believe they have added to our community. I really, really do. And I want to, unfortunately, there's a lot of kind of misinformation, disinformation. Right. We just get a lot of questions because, number one, people don't even know refugee resettlement is happening here in central Wisconsin. It definitely is. And it's happening all around the state. And our individuals that we resettle. So refugee status, I really like to talk about this because it's a really specific legal status. So it's not just anyone and everyone. We've kind of gotten some of those questions throughout my time here. Who's coming? How are they getting here? All that kind of stuff. The bottom line is that refugees are a protected status and they have to apply for it, and they apply for it overseas, and it is because they are fleeing warfare or conflict or some sort of persecution. And that definition, it is universal, it's recognized globally, and that was really put into place by UN. So they had the UNHCR convention in 1951, and that's where it came from. So literally every year the president gets together with his cabinet, they decide how many refugees can we reasonably take in capacity-wise, and they set a ceiling for the year. And so those are the people that come in. And so it is federally sanctioned. And going back to they add so much. If you do some of the research and you look into the data, they open up more businesses. Immigrants do, refugees do. They contribute a lot just with different cultural ideas and perspectives. We have a lot of Afghans in Wausau and Stevens Point. They are practicing Muslims. So it's diversity of ideas and thought and just really helping them rebuild new lives. Because,
let me ask you real quickly, based on what you were just talking about, maybe two different questions. The first one will be, in terms of, there's a number that comes in every year. How is it decided where the refugees go to? How is it decided that they come to maybe central Wisconsin, or how many come to central Wisconsin? I imagine that your organization is involved in that.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a loaded question. There's kind of many moving parts to it, but basically at the federal level, so the president talks with his cabinet. They look at the big picture of the world and conflicts going on around the world. They set a number that the U.S. as a whole could take in, and so it's 125,000 for this current year. And then there are 9 only 9 federally authorized refugee resettlement agencies around the United States. So there's only 9. Some are bigger than others. Our company, ECDC, we have a national network of about, I think it's 24. So we have 8 branches, and we are a branch in Wausau, and then 16 affiliates, and then there's a whole bunch of other organizations. Some of them are international. They do refugee resettlement all around the country, different countries, I should say, countries around the world. But anyway, so they do their refugee application. Sometimes they'll sit on the waiting list for like years and years, and then when it finally comes up, it's still another 2 years. And so refugees are really heavily vetted. They do there's a lot of interviews, there's a lot of clearances. They have to look into their, if there's a criminal background, they have to look at their health, all of these different things. But so that's all overseas. And then finally, when they're ready to come to United States, they kind of go down the line. They look at like who has capacity and how, obviously bigger cities, so we have like a branch in Denver, much, much, much bigger than Wausau.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, Wausau said they could take it, but maybe we just gave them a referral a week ago, and Denver hasn't gotten one in 2 weeks, and so we can give it to them. So those are considerations. And then the other kind of big thing is that if people have families, so really hard part about this is that, families flee, and then sometimes they get split up.
Right.
And so maybe like, I don't know, there'll be one person, they call it PA, primary applicant. And so it'll be like maybe an older child will be their own case. They have to apply for themselves, and parents are like separate application. Maybe the child gets accepted first, and then, okay, do I have family over here? And like, okay, maybe I end up in central Wisconsin because I have family here. So like that's what they call a hard tie. So there's kind of a lot of pieces that go into how does somebody end up here. But that's kind of the long and short of it. So
Again, we're talking to Tana De Lonay. Did I get it right again?
you got it.
Community Engagement Coordinator for the ECDC, the Ethiopian Community Development Council Multicultural Community Center here in Wausau, 98.9 WXCO. I was saying before we went on the air that, for anybody, moving is a traumatic experience.
It's hard.
It is hard. And even if we're just, packing up and moving to another part of the state, these folks are, in many cases, moving across the world and fleeing very dangerous situations. What is your role in trying to help that process? Because I imagine once they get here, it's like you're dropped into an area where it's completely different. And I imagine that part of what your work is trying to make that transition as smooth as possible.
Yes, we do the absolute best that we can. So yes, as I mentioned, we're one of 9 federally authorized. So there's not a lot of refugee resettlement agencies in the United States. We're oversighted. We have oversight by federal. So ORR, Office of Refugee Resettlement, oversees us. And then from state, there's like a Wisconsin State Refugee Coordinator. There's also a State of Wisconsin Refugee Health Coordinator, so very specifically health issues. So there's teams at all the levels, right? And so anyway, so we get our folks here, and I'll just be honest, refugee resettlement, it's really hard. So my personal background, so I have worked human services, I've done case management, I've worked with adults with disabilities, I've worked with kids, mental health disorders, all different kinds of things. My experience coming into this, it was really interesting because you work at some of these agencies and they're like, we focus on one specific thing. Like maybe we're focusing on supporting your mental health, or maybe we're focusing on AODA or something like that. Refugee resettlement, we're literally doing all of the things. And so with our contract with the federal government, there's a lot of different things that we have to do that's covered with resettlement. So one of the big things we have to do, we have to find them a house. So before they get here, right? So, and it's kind of a little bit of a weird situation because we're like, hey, landlord, can you just give me the lease? Can you just give me the keys? Can we just do the thing and move the people in? So there's that. So, I mean, we've built up great relationships with landlords, both in Wausau and Stevens Point, but that's one of the big things. And we follow the HUD, Housing Urban Development, federal housing list of things that have to be in a home. So we have to basically just pretend you're moving, right? Like we do house setups all the time, and you've got to get the entire house set up. Another big thing is that where do you get stuff for the house? Well, guess what? We're 100% reliant on donations. So we work agencies both in Wausau and Stevens Point. We have partnering agencies that run furniture donation programs for us, but it's always kind of at the mercy of, okay, what do we have in stock? And You might get an individual, and so it's like, okay, great, I have a twin bed. That's awesome. Or you might get an 8-person family, and you're like, shoot, I'm short some beds. What do we do? Do we purchase? Do we try to do a donation drive really quickly? That sort of thing. So there's that piece. We're also responsible for employment, and so that's something I really love to talk about, is that there's questions. We get questions about, can they work? Do they even want to work?
Right.
Yeah. The answer to that, all of it, is yes. They want to work, and they have legal status, legal ability to work. They get what's called an EAD card. It's an Employment Assistance Determination card. And basically it says you are legal to get a job. So they start meeting with our internal employment team within 2 to 3 weeks upon their arrival. And so obviously the hope is to get them a job as quickly as possible. There's so many other components to this. If they have kiddos, we have to help with school enrollment. So getting them enrolled there.
Right.
Yep. We have to pick them up at the airport. I should back up and even talk about
Right
that.
from the start.
They come into CWA, Central Wisconsin, and Mosinee, and we have to pick them up, and we have to drive them to their home, right? And we have staff that do all of these things, but we also rely heavily on volunteers as well, if and when they have time and capacity. So that's just kind of a snapshot of some of the things we do. And then I guess one other thing I will just mention really quick is that there's a medical examination called RMS, so Refugee Medical Screening. So that's a requirement. They have to get it. It's a health screening they have to get. Federal government requires it. And it's one of those difficult things. It's supposed to be done within the first 90 days. So we support them with a program called Reception and Placement, R&P, for the first 90 days. So as you can imagine, the nuts and bolts of a settlement takes much longer than 90 days, but that's what we focus on initially.
We've just scratched the surface, number one.
That is correct.
I hope you can come back very, very soon, because there's so much more we need to talk about.
Oh, my goodness.
But for folks who want to help in some way, whether it's a financial donation, whether they want to find out to be a volunteer, where do they go?
So I actually run the volunteer program. So that's one of the hats I wear as community engagement coordinator. So you can contact me. Our office in Wausau, it's 300 North 3rd Street, Suite 212, Wausau, Wisconsin, 54403. My phone number at work is 715-907-2544. My email is tdelonay@ecdcus.org. And contact me. I will get you connected.
We'll put those as part of our show notes on our podcast page as well, so that will be there when you listen to it afterwards. Tana, thank you for joining us. We'll have you back.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
Welcome back, Chad Home Show, 98.9 WXCO, WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Again, really, what a personable person. Tana De Lonay, again, Community Engagement Coordinator for the Ethiopian Community Development Council, ECDC, and we are going to get her back on very, very soon, because I had questions we didn't get to because she was so into talking about that organization. And again, and also, I'm going to put the information on the website and her contact information. If you go to the Chad Home Show page at WXCO.FM or at civicmedia.us, go to our page. We have the previous broadcast every hour, and during this hour, I will have that information there for you if you'd like to use them as somebody to make a donation to for Giving Tuesday as well. So again,
she is a wonderful person with lots of energy. I actually worked with her in an Out of the Woods theater production as well.
Oh.
And we were in a show called Disenchanted.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. We'll have to mention that next time she comes back in here in the next couple of weeks. But, yeah, it's another wonderful organization. There's so many. And, again, we have 3 that are listed at civicmedia.us/giving as potential options if you're looking for a great organization to give a donation to on Giving Tuesday. But at the same time, you can go outside that list as well. And I think we just found another one that we'll definitely put on maybe the next time we run one of these special pushes at civicmedia.us. So, again, thanks to Tana De Lonay for joining us here on the program today. It is the second day of December of 2024, day number 337 of this year. And a number of famous events have occurred on this date in history. In 1901, Gillette patented the first disposable razor. On this date, in 1927, the first Ford Model A was unveiled in New York City's Waldorf Hotel, and in 35 other cities around the U.S., Canada, and Europe. It replaced the Model T and sold for between $395 and $495. On this date in 1952, in what could be called one of the earliest reality shows, Denver's KOATV transmitted the first human birth to be seen on TV to 49 stations on the NBC network. It was part of the program, The March of Medicine. On this date in 1994, Hollywood Madam Heidi Fleiss was convicted in Los Angeles of 3 counts of pandering. On this date in 2014, comedian Bill Cosby resigned from the Board of Trustees of Temple University following renewed sexual assault allegations. On this date in 2020, U.S. Attorney General William Barr said there was no evidence of widespread voter fraud in the 2020 presidential election, despite claims by his boss, Donald Trump. A number of famous folks are celebrating their birthdays here on December the 2nd.
Including you. Happy birthday, Chad.
Thank you very much.
And happy birthday to Brittany
and
Merlot as well.
Brittany Merlot as well, absolutely. Dan Butler, he played Bulldog on Frasier, is 70 years old today. TV journalist Stone Phillips is 70. Brendan Coyle of Downton Abbey is 62. Actor Lucy Liu of Kill Bill fame is 56. Actor Rena Sofer of Just Shoot Me and 24 is 56 years old today. Britney Spears turns 43 years old today. Former Packers quarterback and current New York Jet quarterback Aaron Rodgers is 41. Singer-musician Charlie Puth is 33. And if you out there, like myself, celebrating your birthday here on December the 2nd, happy birthday to you. Some special events. It is Cookie Cutter Week. It is Hand Washing Awareness Week. It is Business of Popping Corn Day. It is Cyber Monday. It is Fritters Day. It is Mutt Day. It is Play Basketball Day. It is Safety Razor Day. Special Education Day. And this one I'm sure you enjoy.
Yeah.
Walt Disney Day.
Oh, yes.
So,
the man who started it all.
Yep. And now, time for our number for the day.
Yes.
In our number for the day quiz. We give Ian Welsh 3 choices for our number for the day quiz. If he gets 33% right during the week or better, it's a passing week. If not, it's a failing week. If he gets 3 out of 5 right, that's a winning week because he gets more right than wrong. 4 out of 5 is his all-time best, and we're still trying for that all-time record.
5 out of 5.
Perfect week of 5 out of 5.
Yeah. And today was a male registered nurses in the United States.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Ready.
The number for the day is the number of male registered nurses in the United States in 2023, up from 140,000 in 2000. So we know it's more than 140,000.
Okay, 2023.
So male registered nurses in the U.S. in 2023.
Okay.
Is the correct answer 250,000? Is the correct answer 400,000? Is the correct answer 550,000? So again, 250,000, 400,000, 550,000. And again, that was in 2023, up from 140,000 in 2000.
Okay, I'm going to go with my gut here. I'm going to say 250,000. I'm going with A. Start off the week with A. It's my final answer. I'm locking it in.
All right. The total number of male registered nurses in the United States in 2023, up from 140,000 in 2000, was 400,000.
Oh, the middle number.
You normally go with the middle number.
Yes,
Today
I
you
do.
didn't.
I was trying to see if I could change it.
I
but
know,
no.
I know. So 0 for 1 so far. So still early.
We got to get back on the bandwagon tomorrow.
Hey, enjoy your dress rehearsals tonight.
And you have a great birthday But yet, happy Monday, everybody. Have a great day.
And we'll be back tomorrow from 8 till 10. And also don't forget Marathon Girls Basketball tonight at 7 versus Edgar right here on 98.9 WXCO. Coming up next, it's Matt and Air on Air. Have a great Monday. And join us again tomorrow here on 98.9 WXCO.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.